Yeah, Ajay Godrej.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, very good morning to all the participants over here. So, today we are going to talk about robot application, and when we are going to design any robot, so over there, how you can work on the microcontroller part, the brain of the robot. So that we are going to discuss, and after that we are going to talk about sensor interfacing with the microcontroller for robotics applications. So that we are going to discuss. So let's get started. First of all, like quick overview that I'm going to give you over here about the robot. Like for different application, you will find different robots. So now over there you can see in current scenarios, like for fighting COVID-19. So many more variant is also coming in the market. So how to survive in these current situation, and how we have to come out with some solution using robot. So you can see this one is a small. Many diverse application of a robot, like we can talk about humanoid robot, we can talk about autonomous drone, that is also coming in part of robotics. When we talk about any kind of robot for industrial application, like welding and all that kind of applications. When we talk about in a robotics, so there is one more application over there in a specific domain, like in a medical applications, like surgery and many more applications. And when we talk about some operation in industry, so AGV is also being used. So that is also working as a like automatic guided vehicle AGV. So that is being used in many automation applications. Now in these days, everything is converting from traditional operation to the automatic operations. So for understanding all these things from the scratch, I'm just going to introduce you one tool that is known as Tinkercad. So this one is a tool. Over there you can do some hands-on some microcontroller sensors and the logic of that particular robot, that you can design it over here. So that I'm going to discuss over here. So let's see how it will work. So first of all, when we are going to talk about Tinkercad, so over there, how we can do sign up over there. So first of all, we have to open the Tinkercad in this link, and that is online tool. So you no need to download anything over there. Just you have to use it in an online mode. So I'm going to open it. So first of all, you have to click on Tinkercad over here like this. So or you can directly search it on the Google, and you will find it over there. So just directly I did sign in over there. So let me do sign out so that you can get familiar about it, that how it will work. So first of all, when we are going to use this Tinkercad, what we have to do it, you have to search it on the Google with the name of Tinkercad. So after searching it on the Google, you will find few option over there. Like this one, you can open it. And over there, you will find join your class option or join now options. So first of all, when we are moving with it, so we have to go with join now options. So in join now options, what we have to do it, we have to click over there. So first time when we are going to use this tool, we have to click on that join now options. So after clicking over there, you will find these three options. So you have to go with option over here, that is create a personal account, the third one options that we have to select it. So that we are going to select it. Let's click over here, create personal account. So after clicking over there, you will find three options over there. Sign up with the email and sign up with the Google. So when you have to do sign up with the email, so click over there. You can do with sign up with the Google also. If you have already signed in your Chrome browser with your Gmail or like that, so you can go with this also. That is very easy. And if you are going to sign up with the email, so you can go with this one. So over there, first of all, you have to select your country. That country you have to select it. Then after that, you have to move ahead. Like I'm just selecting it over here, India. And after that, select your date of birth. You can select any false date of birth, but that should be more than 16 years. So as per their guidelines. So otherwise, it will ask from your parents' permission and many more things, so that you can select it any date of birth over there. Then you can click next. So after that, it's saying that date month is not selected. So after selecting the date of birth, it will ask about email ID and new password that you have to create it. So you have to enter your mail ID and your password, and then after that you have to click on agree, and you will able to do login over there. You will able to create your account over there. So I have already created my account, so I'm going to do sign in over there. So that sign in option I'm going to select it. So in sign in, you have to enter your mail ID, whatever mail ID you have entered while doing login or while creating your sign up account. Then you have to click next and you have to enter password. And if you want to sign up with the Gmail again, so you can sign in with the social provider and you can select Gmail. So that option you can also select over there. So after that, someone mic is I think unmuted, so kindly mute your mic. Someone mic is unmuted, kindly mute it.
जैस्मिन मैम नहीं यार, अभी तो ये सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टिंग की लैब अभी तक मेरे नाम पे असाइन हुई नहीं है। वो बोल रही थी कि हो गई है वहां से नाम अपडेट कराई।
Surbhi
अच्छा
madam,
अच्छा अच्छा,
Surbhi Verma, kindly mute your mic.
कर दो।
Surbhi madam, kindly mute your mic.
Okay, thank you so much. So now coming back again over there in the Tinkercad. So after doing sign up over there with your social email provider, also you can do sign up over there. So I'm going to sign up with my email ID directly. I'm using my account of Gmail that I have already signed in over here, that I'm going to use it over here. So now after doing login over there, you will find these options. So first one option, you will find 3D design. That is for like if you are going to design a robot structure, that you can design it easily over there. So briefly, I'm just going to introduce this tool, and then later on I will come back to that electronics or that control part of that robot, how we can do control. So over there you can create your new design in that Tinkercad very easily. So if you are not familiar with any kind of designing of mechanical, so you can also do stuff over there. You can make any basic design over there. So like if you are going to make any robot over there, any structure you want to make for a robot, that you can make it easily over there. So if you want to increase or decrease height, that you can change it. So length you can change it, and if you want to rotate it, that also you can rotate it. So you can make your robot as per your requirement. If you want to rotate it in this another directions like this, and then if you want to add some like tire or some kind of structure, so that also you can get it over here and you can make it accordingly. And complete shape you can make it, like if you are going to use some ring or some kind of small tires like that, you can rotate them and you can set it accordingly as per your requirement. So that is my motto to share with you, that you can do all the designing stuff very easily over there, and the mechanical structure you can make it, and after that you can do directly 3D printing over there. So there is option of send to, and you can download it. You can go with advanced designing option also using Fusion 360, and you can export it, and over there you can do 3D printing also directly, or you can download that file in the format of STL for doing 3D printing. That also can be done over there easily. So now moving ahead with the Tinkercad. So coming back over there in the Tinkercad. So that is the only designing part that we have discussed. Now I'm coming back to the circuit part. So when we talk about microcontroller and basic circuit making, that is very important part, and maximum time when we talk about robotics, that part we used to miss. So when we talk about control of a robot, so when we talk about the brain of a robot, so over there the electronics we have to understand it, so that we can program that robot as per our requirement, so that we can perform some dedicated task. So over there in the Tinkercad, after doing sign in, you will find option of circuit. So circuit option is over there, so you can select it, circuit part. So after doing sign in, you have to go to circuit part, and over there you will find create new circuit options. So that create new circuit option, that I'm going to open it, create new circuit options. So in a create new circuit options, your workspace for creating a circuit will get open. So now over there you will able to make any circuit, and you can simulate it over there easily, and after that you can make it hardware also. That hardware also I will share with you that how it will work over there. So right now we are just going to check it out, that how it is working. So first of all, you will find all the basic component over here on the right hand side. So component you will find over here in the right hand side. So after that you can see this one is a workspace. So I'm going to take some basic component. Let me take one battery, and after that I'm going to take one motor. So like when we talk about robots, so over there we need some movement also. Like if we are going to make a mobile robot, so in a mobile robot we need some movement and we need some control mechanism. So let me connect over here this motor. So how we can make some movability in the robot. So now in these days that concept is so much popular in the industry also. Like when we are using some stationary robot, so over there mobility is being get added over there. So we are going to call them stationary mobile robot. So those robot mean those robot we are going to use for some welding operations. So using mobility on those robot, we can move them from one location to another location, so that we can do multiple tasking with simple with one robot. So that also can be done, because sometimes when we talk about flexibility in any manufacturing system, that is highly desired. So for that we need a mobility in that robot. So over there you can see we are going to connect it simple motor with a battery. I think everyone is familiar with it, that how motor will work. So just start simulation, and you will able to see that motor is running over there, but negative sign is coming over there. So why that negative sign is coming? It shows that that robot is that motor is moving in a anti-clockwise directions. So that motor is moving in a anti-clockwise directions. So what we have to do it over here, we have to change their polarity. So you can, how you can take that wire, take your mouse cursor and click over, take your mouse cursor and it will show the terminal, click over there, wire will be get started. So negative wire I'm going to connect with the negative, and you can do color coding also over there. This one is option of color, you can select it black, and then after that this one color I'm going to make it red, and then start simulation. So now the motor is running in a clockwise direction, that you can see it over here. So over there you will able to see the important concept, that is about this motor. So mean that mechanism, moving mechanism, we are getting it over there with a simple battery. So we have nothing added over there, any controlling part. We just use simple motor and we have just simulated it, and we can see the RPM also, that how much RPM is we are getting. Otherwise when we have to check it out this RPM, so it's very tough to measure RPM over there. For that we need a tachometer. With the help of the tachometer we will able to measure RPM, but sometime we are not having tachometer. So what we have to do, we cannot measure RPM easily. So over there we can use simple motor, we can test it and we can check it out RPM also over there, that how much RPM motor is running. So now I'm going to add some sensor with this circuit. So let's see how it will work. So few sensor I'm going to add it over there. So the sensor, first of all I'm going to add, I will discuss in a detail also these sensors. So this one is a LDR sensor. So that LDR sensor I'm going to use it. So in a series I have connected one sensor, that is known as LDR sensor. So how this sensor is working? This sensor is working based on light intensity. So when we are going to fall light intensity on the sensors, so the resistance of the sensor will decrease. When we are going to fall light, resistance will be decreased, and when the darkness will get increased, so resistance value will be get increase over there. So now that we are going to use it over here. So what we have to do over here, we can start simulation and let's see how the sensor is working. So the motor RPM is now, that is 6 RPM. So what we have to do it, we have to click on this one. So how the simulation range is coming. So click on the sensor after starting simulation. That you can see it will look like this, and then you can change the range. That range you can increase or decrease. So this one is full darkness, RPM is very less. When we are going to increase brightness, you will be able to see over there RPM is increasing. Still it is not full RPM because there is still resistance over there, but as we are going to increase darkness, resistance will be get increased. So high the resistance, low current flow in the circuit, and motor RPM will be less. As we are going to reduce the resistance, so over there you will be able to see, as we are going to reduce the resistance, so what will happen over there? Resistance will get reduced when light intensity get reduced, and high current start flowing in the circuit, and motor will start rotating with high RPM. So this one is just for introduction to understand that how this tool is working. So in this tool, like if we want to rotate any component, so that also we can rotate it. Like if I want to rotate it and want to use it over here, so this one is the option rotate. So you can use shortcut command also, rotate, and you can rotate it in that way. So I'm going to rotate it. So after clicking on this, you will be able to rotate that component easily. And then if you want to delete this one, select this, and delete option is over there. You can use that delete button over there. So that also can be used. So then after that, you will be able to see like these are the comments. You can put comment over there, like this one is negative. So you can make it minus comment or something, whatever comment you want to put it, that you can put it. So this one is a comment block, or over there I can put this comment over here in this battery, that also we can put it. So if you want to hide that comment, that you can do it, and these are option of selecting wire color. And this one is for code, like if you are using microcontroller, then you can select this one code option over there. So that also can be selected when we are going to use it. And this one is a start simulation, and this one is the option of send to. If you want to send it to advanced application, like earlier if you have designed your chassis, so over there you can deploy that circuitry part easily. Or if you want to do any kind of PCB printing or something advancement, you want to do it with that circuitry, that also you can do it over there easily. So that can be done over there. So now moving ahead, and one more thing over there in the send to options, so you can take screenshot easily over there. So over there one more point is that when we are going to make this circuit, you can save it also. Like if I'm going to save it, or if I want to do undo whatever component I have deleted, so that also I can undo also over here. And if I want to save it, how I can save this circuit? For that, what I have to do it, I have to double click over there in this name. This one is the name of that project. You can rename it. I'm going to rename it. For that, I'm going to just make like motor. So that you will able to see it, motor test. So now how you can see that this project is being get saved, you can go back over there. And now able to see this one is a motor test, that project is being get saved over there. So that project is being get saved over there. So after saving that project, if you want to open it again, you can open it again. So you can tinker this also. So if you want to tinker this, mean that same project is being get opened again, and you can do whatever modification you want to do with that project. And if you want to create a new project, then go back in the Tinkercad, that one. So in create new circuit, now we are going to talk about microcontroller. So how we can use microcontroller over there, and how we can do programming in the microcontroller. Maximum time when we talk about the robotics, so that robotics is being taught in a mechanical discipline. So over there the difficulty is coming occurred in a specific part, that is about programming. So maximum time all the mechanical student used to get afraid about the programming. So for simplification of that programming, we are going to do programming over here in a graphical way. How we are going to program it? So we are going to use microcontroller. So this one is a microcontroller development board, that is known as Arduino Uno. So might be you are familiar about it. If not, I will discuss it in detail also, that how it will work. So in this microcontroller development board, we can do programming in a graphical way also, that is very easy to understand and very easy to use it over here. So in this microcontroller, we are going to use input and output. Right now I'm just going to give you a brief idea that how we can do programming, and then later on I'm going to let you know about this Arduino Uno board, that how it will work and how you can understand it in a more detailed way. So first of all, I'm going to connect one LED. So I want to blink this LED with some interval of 1 second or 2 second or half second, and I have connected this LED one terminal on the 30 number pin, and then I'm starting simulation. So what is happening? My LED start blinking. So I have not written any single line of code how my LED is working. For that, what I have to do it over here, I have to go to the code, and in the code we have to check it out. This one is a by default code. By default code mean when we are going to take this Arduino board from the components, so automatically this code will come over there. So what is the meaning of this code? This code mean build in LED high. These are the blocks. So you can see build in LED, that is this one LED is built in, and that LED is blinking, and that is connected with 13 number pin. So we have added one more LED on the 13 number pin. So both LED blinking with the same interval, and LED is high for 1 second, LED is low for 1 second. So that is code, and that loop is running for infinite time. So over there, what next we have to do it, we can drag it and delete it also. Like I'm going to delete it. So again, if I want to make this code, so these are the 4 blocks we have to use it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 blocks we have to use it. What is the meaning of those blocks? That also I will discuss. Like this one is the output and this one is the input. And over there you will find all the conditions and delay. And then after that you will find input. Over there you can take any sensor value. So these blocks are for taking any input or any sensor input. If we have to take it, then we are going to use these blocks. In the math, you will find some Boolean operators, mathematical operators, some mathematical blocks. You will find it over there, like comparison block, less than block, greater than block. All the blocks you will find it over here. Then after that, in a control that I have already discussed. So these are notation, those are extra things, so no need to work out over there. So first of all, go to the output and you will find set build in block. Take it, then this one is high, then go to the control. In a control you will find delay. You can see the color also, so that yellow color you will find over here and control. Again go to the output, just drag it, this block, first block, drag it and drop it. Again go to the control, just drag it and drop it. So this one is your simple code, and we are going to start simulation. Now you will able to see LED is still on and it is not turning off. Why it is so? Over there you can see both are high. So one block we have to make it low. Then only LED will turn on and off with an interval of 1 second. If we want to change the interval, that also we can change it. Many flexibility is over there. So let me make it 0.2 so that LED should blink with a faster rate. So you will be able to see over here my LED is blinking with a faster rate. So both LED blinking with the same interval. So if we want to do with the coding with the other pins, that also I will discuss. Before that, let me discuss with you that microcontroller board, Arduino board, how it will work and how we can use it for different applications. So that I'm going to discuss first. Then after that I will discuss more detail about their coding part, how we can do coding in a graphical way or in a simple C++ language also that we are going to use it. So over there, like previously as we are going to see it, this one is a graphical coding we are doing it, but when we have to do it on the hardware in a practical real time, for that we need a code in embedded C for this Arduino board or C++ language. So how we can get that code? For that you can go to this block. In blocks, click over there, you will find that scroll down option, and over there you will find text and block plus text. So whatever graphical code you made it, so automatically your text code will be generated, this one. So from the graphical coding you will get your text coding easily over there, that you can get it over there, so that we can do it. So that we can do it over here. So now we are going to talk about Arduino Uno development board, how this board is working and what are the pin configurations. So how we have to use it. So directly we can use it now in these days that microcontroller is being taught in a school education also. In a school also that is being taught over there in the beginning about robotics, so that students can get familiar from the school that how that robotics is working. So over there how we can use it. So in this microcontroller there is the two important thing. One is input and second is output. So when we are going to use input and output, so how those input and output is working, those are very important. So what I'm going to do it over here, I'm going to show that what are the inputs. So you can see 0 to 13 number. 0 to 13, those are input and output in the format of digital, and we can call it digital input and output. Those are digital input and output. Then after that you will be able to see it over here a few more things, that is analog. So A0 to A5, those pins are analog pins. So I will discuss over there in a detail also in the Tinkercad, so that you can see more clear view over there. Right now you can see a brief introduction about all the components. So first we have discussed those 0 to 13 pin are digital pins. So 0 and 1 is also working as a digital if we needed it to use it. Otherwise we are going to leave 0 and 1, and 2 to 13 we are going to use it as a digital input and output. Mean any digital signal we have to read it, any digital signal we have to give output. So when we talk about digital and analog, in a digital, just take an example of at your home, like you are going to turn on and off light using switch. That is digital output, mean high and low. And when we talk about analog output, mean just take an example of your ceiling fan at your home. So when we are going to turn it on, that switch, after that you have to rotate that regulator for controlling the speed of fan. So that regulator we are rotating it, that is analog output. And when we are going to take an example of analog input, for that you can take any sensor example like temperature sensor, distance sensors, all those values we are measuring it or we are reading it, that is analog. So over there we have discussed that is digital input and output, we can read it, and over here in the analog pin we can only read analog pins, analog input we can take it from A0 to A5 pin. And if we have to give digital output, sorry, analog output, because analog read we can take it, how we can give analog output. So there is 5 pins over 6 pin over there. Those are 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. Those pins are known as PWM. PWM pin mean you can give output analog format using PWM technique, that is known as pulse width modulations. Those are some basic terms that I'm using it. And then there is one ground over there, there is two more ground terminals, so you can use those ground for interfacing sensors easily over there. And this one is a 5 volt, you can give 5 volt to the sensor also, you can give output 5 volt from this board. And you can use USB to plug it to program it, so you can program it using USB. You can use a reset button over here for resetting your program, so your code will not get erased. So your code will be get erased when you are going to reprogram it. So your previous code will be get erased and new code will be get written on that program. So this one is a microcontroller that is being used in this board. Sometime when we have to deploy only microcontroller rather than this board, that also you can do it for reducing the cost of that particular product for some robotics applications. So over there, what we can do it, we can program it using this board, and we can remove this microcontroller and we can deploy it also directly, or we can use complete board also. Both option is over there. The cost of this Arduino Uno board is, that is approximate 400 to 500 rupees. Within 500 rupees we can get this Arduino board. So that is all about the basic things about this Arduino board. So now we are going to use this Arduino board, that how we can program it for different applications. So let me go to the Tinkercad to show more detail about this board. So now you can see this one is my Arduino board. So let me zoom in. So this one is the option of zoom in, or we can call it fit to screen, or you can use your mouse scroll button, mouse scroller for zoom in and zoom out. So that also you can do it easily over there. So now what we are going to do it, we are going to explain you again all the pins. 0 to 13 pins are digital pin, A0 to A5 that is analog pin, that is also written over there. These are power port, meaning you can give output power from this ground, 5 volt, 3.3 volt, and these are PWM pin, that is written PWM, and sign symbol is over there. So 3 number, 5 number, 6 number, 9 number, 10 number, 11. So these 6 pins can be used as a digital input output, and as well as those pins can be used for specific application of analog output also. So that also can be used. And there is one LED that is built-in LED. So that is connected with 13 number pin. So that can be also used for some specific applications. Then there is TX and RX LED. Those are being used for serial communications. So those are not too much important. And this one is a power LED. So when we are going to power it using USB or using external power, this LED, green color LED maximum you will find it. So that LED is being used for power application, for powering the board. So you can power your board using that green LED. So now after that, these are about basic of this board. Now we are going to program this board. First of all, the basic program we have to write it for LED blink that we have discussed. So now we are going to connect one LED. So in a LED there is two terminal, one is positive and one is negative. So let me tell you about first of all basic of LED, how it will work. So in the LED, if you want to glow it, you can use battery and you can power it. So there is one anode. Anode should be connected with the positive because anode is always positive. So cathode we have to connect with the negative. Then as we are going to start simulation, you will be able to see your LED get damaged over there. So your LED get damaged. Why it is so? Because we have connected it with 9 volt battery, and LED can operate on 2 volt only. So that's 2 volt, but we have provided over there that is 9 volt. So what we have to do it over here, we have to use some resistance to avoid that LED damage. So I'm going to take one resistance and you can connect it. So these things you can try it with your own because those are basic things, and you can understand it each and everything without having any kind of hardware. That is the beauty of this tool, and you can use it in online mode. You cannot download it because that is online tool, and that is very safe tool. So now over there you can see LED is glowing, so you can change that value. Right now that is 1 kilo ohm, so you can make it 340 or 350. So as we are going to make it 340 ohm, it is showing some warning. It is saying that current through the LED is 20.3 milliampere, but absolute is required, that is 20 milliampere. So if you are going to use it in this condition, LED will work, but the lifespan of that LED will be get reduced. Lifetime will be get reduced. So you can use correct value of resistance so that you can calculate using some Ohm's law or simple formula. So that you will find it standard value of this 9 volt battery of LED, that is 350 ohm. You can use higher value also, but the brightness of that LED will be get reduced. So after doing this, that is simple LED. Now we are going to use this LED with resistance with Arduino, because Arduino will operate on a 5 volt, mean it will give output that is 5 volt. So Arduino will give output that is 5 volts. So now I'm going to connect it. So this one is a positive and this one is a negative. So negative you can connect with the ground, and the positive you can connect with any digital pin you can use it now. So I'm going to use 8 number pin. So in the 8 number pin, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give output signal. Right now I'm going to talk about digital output. So first of all, we are going to understand four concepts. First one is digital output, second one is a digital input, then analog output and analog input. Those four concepts are very important for interfacing any kind of sensor or making any kind of autonomous robot. So these things are very important over there. But now in these days, there is a huge application of a mobile robot in a different applications. So now over there you can see it, and what next we have to do it over here, we have to write code. So go to the coding part over there, and in the coding you will find it, this one is a by default code. So when we are going to take Arduino board, you will get by default code for testing it. So that is build in LED, that is L, that is written over there. So you can delete this code. How you can delete it? There is a dustbin at the bottom. You can drag it using mouse and you can put it in a dustbin. Now you can write your code. So I'm going to use any other pin, and what logic I'm using over here, that is output. So we have to give digital output over there. For giving digital output, what we have to do it, we have to go to the output. If something we want to give output from this microcontroller, so we have to go to the output block. That can be analog output or digital output. So now we are going to use output, and over there we can use output over there. So we are going to use it over there. So that we are going to use it over here. Let me go back. Yes. So over there we are going to write code. So how easily we can write code in a graphical coding? So over there we can go to the output, and in the output you will find these blocks. So you have to take second block for digital output. So whenever you have to give digital output, you have to use second block. Then third block we will use later on. What is the meaning of third one, and fourth and fifth and all these? So take this one, and over there you can select pin number. So right now we are going to use over here the pin number, that is 8 number pin. Whatever pin number we are using it for giving digital output, you can select it. So that I'm going to select it. So we have to select over here pin number 8. 8 pin number I have selected it. That is high right now. You can make it high or low. That setting you can do it over there easily. So what next you have to do it over here. So we are moving ahead with it. So for that, what we have to do it, we can make it high, we can make it low. So that is up to our requirement. High and low we can do it over there, because we are going to use it a digital. So we are going to use digital output over here. So what next we have to do it, we have to use some delay. So if we want to make it continuous on for some time interval, so for that we have to use a delay over there. So I'm going to use delay over there. So how we can use delay? For that, what next we have to do it, we have to go to control. In a control you will find delay. In a control you will find delay. So the delay we are going to use it over here. So let's see how we can use that delay. So that go to control, and you will find all these blocks. So we have to take first one block, that is representing over here delay. So that I'm going to use it. So go to this wait, and after that again you have to take this block and you have to make it low. I mean LED will be on, and it will be on for 1 second, and again it will be on, because that loop will repeat for infinite time. So what next we have to do it, go to the output, and over there take again that second block, put it over there, select pin number, and we can select 8 number pin, and you can make it low now. This one is high for 1 second and it should be low. How much time? We have to go again for the delay. 1 second. You can change that delay 1 second, 2 second, whatever time you want, that you can change it. So now over here, what next we are going to do it, we are going to use it like the code is ready, high and low, and it will repeat for infinite time. So when we talk about embedded C coding, so that embedded C coding also we will find it over there in a blocks and block plus text. So this one is embedded C code automatically generated, C++ code automatically generated. So I'm just going to play this one, that how it will work. Then after that I will use it. So let me do blocks and start simulation. So 8 number pin LED will start blinking over there. So LED will start blinking over there. You can see LED is blinking with the interval of 1 second, and you can see the code will also generated in a C++ language also. This one is the code, and you can see how it is working. If you want to learn this code, that also you can learn it easily over there. So you will able to see like this one block, as I'm deleting it, that is delay. So you will find delay block, how we have to write it in a C++. It is deleting. That is also deleting. That is also deleting. That you can see it over here. So what next we have to do it over here, we have to again, if we have to write that code, go to the output, take that second block. You can see code is coming. So we are doing it graphical coding, select pin number 8. Pin number 8 is being get selected. Then go to control, wait, then again go to the output, take second block, select pin number 8, then again go to the control, then wait, and you can see your code is ready. So when we have to deploy that code on the hardware, at the time what we have to do it, we have to use this one code. So this one code we can copy it and we can deploy it in any hardware, that we can do it in the Arduino Uno, we can deploy it. So that we have discussed that how we can write it, and we can download this code also using this one option of download code, that we can do it. So what next we have to do it over here after doing this. So that is simple code writing, that how we can write code over there in a graphical way. And when we want to know the background of this graphical coding, so from where that graphical coding came, if we want to know more about it and we want to get more familiarity about this graphical coding, for that you have to go with another software, that is online tool, that is known as Scratch. So that Scratch we have to use it. So you can search it on the Google with the name of Scratch. So Scratch is being taught in a school for understanding coding in a graphical way. So the background of this programming, that we are doing it in a graphical way, that came from Scratch. Like when we talk about PLC, so over there we are going to use that ladder and logic diagram, and those are also very easy as comparison to the writing code in a C++ and all that. So in the same way, that programming came from the Scratch. So how it is working, that you can see it. So for that we are going to start creating option is over there, and you can see a very small video over there, that how that graphical coding is working. So graphical coding means just for entertainment or for understanding that graphical coding, you can use this tool. That can be used for teaching coding to the kids. So now I'm just sharing with you that from where that graphical coding came, that we are using in the Tinkercad. So let's take a simple example how you can do it and how you can check simulation and all that. So for that, go to the motion and move 10 step. Then again go to the look, or you can rotate it 10, 15 degree, or you can change it to make it 70 degree. Then again move some step. I'm going to make it 50 step. And then you can go to the look. In a look, you can see over here the say hello, say hi, think something. So that we are going to do it. Then after that, go to the sound. In a sound, you will find some sound, you can play it. So I want to play meow sound or something like that. You can do it in a sound. In an event, then after that, control. In a control, you will find all the condition, like we get it over there in the Tinkercad. Take 1 second delay, and after that move ahead. So now you can use some control block, like how much time you want to repeat it. You can repeat it for 10 times. You can insert it inside it like this. So we want to repeat it for 10 times, that you can see it. So after that, if you want to run it, that will work. And if you want to use some events, in the events you can use some flag, this flag. When we are going to take it, so as we are going to click on this flag, then only it will work over there. So that we can do it over here. So now my code is ready over here. So what next we have to do it over here for running it, for simulating it. So we can start simulation. So we are going to start simulation over there. So you can click on this flag, simulation will get started. So I think you are able to hear that cat sound. So it will repeat for 10 times only. Code for 10 times. Yes, after 10 times it can get stopped. If you want to repeat it for infinite time, so we can go over there, we can repeat it for forever. Then it will repeat it. And you can change costume also over there. This one is a costume, you can modify it. So whatever things you want to modify it, that you can modify it. So that is option is available over there. So that also you can do it. And if you want to record customized sound, that also you can do it. So there is option of available sounds. You can get different sound alert, alarm, and many available sound. You can find it over there. You can get it like piano sound, guitar sound. So these kind of many more sound you will find it over there. Door closing, door. So let me take this dog sound over there, and this one if we want to use it. So two sound I want to use it over here. Go to the sound, play sound, this one. After cat, I want to play this one sound. So start simulation. So that kind of animation you can do it. It's just for understanding that how. Now moving further ahead over here. Let me stop it. I think all the 10 steps get covered, get completed. So the same coding we are using it over here in the Tinkercad. So Tinkercad over there we are just going to use only 4 blocks. Over there you have seen many blocks, but we are going to use only 4 blocks. Now a specific like buzzer or something like that. So I'm going to use buzzer in replacement of LED. You can use buzzer also. So let me delete this code. Let me create new code, and I'm going to use output in a buzzer. You can take speaker over there. If you want to play this speaker, so how you can play it? So you can connect it with any digital pin. So this LED I'm going to delete it now. Select it, and you can use delete button from the keypad also, or otherwise you can use delete button that is mentioned over here, and you can do color code also over there in the wiring. So if you want to give output over here in this buzzer, so how you can give output for this buzzer, so that we are going to discuss over here. So in the buzzer, so when we want to give output over here, so what we have to do is we have to go to again output, and over there you will find direct block of play speaker. So this block we have to take it if we want to give output to this buzzer. You can take it, and over there you have to select pin number, that is 6 number pin. I'm going to select it. On the 6 number pin, that buzzer is connected. So what next we have to do it over here, we can start simulation again, and you will able to see how the simulation is working. How we can off it? Go to the control, take 1 second wait, how much time we want to play it, and then after that again go to the output. In output you will find turn off speaker. So if you want to turn it off, you have to use another block, and that block you have to select it, and you can select over there pin number. So pin number I'm going to select it, and that is same pin number, 6 number pin. So buzzer is attached on the 6 number pin that we are using it. So this one is a tone value. If you want to get different tones, you can change that values and you will get different tones in a buzzer. So why I'm just sharing these things? Because when we are going to use microcontroller for robotics application, you should know, like sometimes we have to give some horn sound or something like that. For that you have to give output. So you have to give output to the motor also. So you should know that how you have to use it. So you can use turn off speaker and you can start it. So you will be able to need to add one more delay over there so that we can see how it is working. So now 1 second, then repeat zero. So now if you want to get different tones in this buzzer, so how you can get different tones? So for that you have to move ahead with it, and you have to get different tones. So for that I'm going to take this one block again. Let me move it. So this one block again we have to take it for getting different tone. Output, play speaker, and then again take one delay, then again go to the output, play speaker tone, then again control and wait. 3 tone I want to play it right now. So first one is at frequency 60, or let me make it 40, then 50. These are tone frequency we are changing it. So 40, 50, 60. So we will get different tones, and after that buzzer will be off, and again it will repeat it. So after one interval, that tone is being get repeated. So let's see how you will able to hear different tones. you are able to hear only one tone. You have to do it for getting different tones, because right now the mistake we did it, we have selected pin number 6. On these blocks we have not selected any pin, so we have to select pin number 6, then only we will get different tones. 6 number, then start simulation. Now it will. If you want to play those tones continuously, you can remove that delay, and those tone is being get played continuously. And now over there, that simple basic thing we did it over here, that how you can play any kind of music and how you can execute it, how you can run it. Now moving ahead with it, so that is about digital output, and we have used buzzer over there. So if you want to play any piano or something like, or like that interesting instrument you want to make it, that also you can make it. So I'm just sharing with you that piano project, how it will work, how you can make that kind of thing also over there. So coming back to some projects. Then after that, I will share with you one important concept of that servo motor, how you can control some precise angle. So that I'm going to discuss over here. First of all, let me share with you piano, how the piano is working. So that Tinkercad is working on the internet. So internet should be there for running it in online mode. So we are starting simulation, and the coding also in the same way you can do it for the buzzer. Right now we are using different buttons. So we are taking input from the button and we are giving output to this buzzer. So let's play any song over there. Not song. I'm just going to play any sargam, sare, gama, pa, dha, ni, sa. So let's try to understand it if you're getting it. Again. If you are having any the music, you can use the song also over there. So coming back over there, that is simple project that I said. So moving ahead, create new project, or you can open this one also. So over there, again, I'm going to take Arduino board. Let me open previous one, so that we have discussed about buzzer, that how you can use buzzer for getting different tones, and how you can play any kind of instrumental tone also over there. That also you can play it like piano or something like that. So now we are going to replace this one, and we are going to give output to the buzzer, output to the servo motor. If you want to control precise angle, so we are going to use this micro servo motor. So like if we want to rotate any camera or something like that, in many applications that servo is being used over there. So that I'm going to do it. So let me rotate it. So that I'm going to rotate it. So there is 3 wires: signal, ground, and VCC. So the ground should be connected with ground, and power should be connected with 5 volts. So commonly you will find 3 pins in any sensor. So then signal we are going to connect it with any digital pin, because that motor is being operated with digital output signal. So now what next we have to do it over here, we can start simulation, but before that we have to write code. This one is the previous code, you can delete it in a dustbin. to put it, and after that you can go to output and you will find rotate servo. Take this block and you can select pin number. We are using it 6 number pin, and you can select angle. So right now I'm going to take one delay also, and again I'm going to take that block of rotate servo. First 0 degree, then I'm going to rotate it 180, and again I'm going to put some delay, and then I'm going to make it 90 degree, make it 90 degree. Again I'm going to make it 0 degree. So for that, let me use delay. So automatically it will go to 0 over here, because from over here program will rotate repeat it like this. So what next we have to do it over here, the pin number. So pin number should be same, because we have connected servo on 6 number pin. That mistake we have to avoid it. So let's see how it will work. So we have connected over there, and we are going to move ahead. So what next we have to do it over here. After doing this, we can start simulation. So simulation is being get started over there, and now you will able to see your servo motor will rotate it first 90 degree, then come back. So it's not coming to 180 degrees. So what you can do, you can increase the delay so that it can take proper time to go back to that positions. Over there also you can make it 3 seconds or 2 seconds. So this one is starting position. It will go from 0 to 180 degree first, then it will come back to 90 degree, and then come back to 0 degree. Again 180 degree, and then 90 degree, then 0 degree. So in the same way, for some specific application, you can use your servo motor for some robotics application. Like if you want to use camera with that robot, so that over there you can rotate that camera using servo motor. So there is a plenty of application of this servo motor, and all the coding you can do it in a graphical way that we have discussed over here. So now moving ahead with it. So you can go back to you can save this project also, and now I'm going to delete this one. So the things that we have discussed about LED output, then we have discussed about servo, and then we have discussed about buzzer also. So these are the output things that you will find it. So now you can use RGB LED also, and RGB LED color also you can control it using this one block. So that also you can do it. Now I'm moving ahead with input. So this one is output that we have discussed. Now go to the input. In an input we are going to make one project. Input and output we are going to combine it, and we are going to make automatic door opening project that we are going to make it, and after that we are going to make it automatic doorbell. That also we can make it easily over there in the Tinkercad. So let's move ahead. So for that, what we have to do it. So this one I'm going to delete it. So go to the input. In input we have to read something. So we are going to use one sensor. The sensor we are going to use it over here, that is PIR sensor. So this one is a proximity infrared sensor. You will find it in many hotel or restaurant over there. Automatic door opening you will find it. So in all automatic door openings, those door is being get opened automatically. Over there you will find this one sensor, that is PIR sensor. So how we can use it? So this one is a digital sensor. So it will give output in the format of digital signal. So let me use it. So I'm going to connect it. There is 3 pins. One is signal, then ground. So ground, I'm to connect it with the ground, and then I'm going to connect power with 5 volt. Then after that I'm going to connect signal with any digital pin. So signal, I'm going to connect with the digital pin. So you can select 4 number pin or any other digital pin, you can select it. So right now we are going to select 4 number pin over here. So what next we have to do it over here, we can write code for this. So how we can read the sensor, then after that we can control any door also, and we can make using this automatic or contactless doorbell also. Those are highly effective products now in these days to avoid the spread of COVID-19. So now over there, what we are going to do it, go to the input now. In input, there is a first block that is read digital pin, and second block is being used for read analog pin. So we are going to read digital pin. Select this one and move ahead. So we are going to read from digital pin. So what next we have to do it over here, we can select pin number, that is 4 number pin. So after reading it, how we can see that what value we are reading it? For that, we have to print it on the serial monitor. So whatever value we are printing it, that we have to print it on the serial monitor. So let's see how we can print it on the serial monitor. So I'm going to output, and in output at the second last block you will find it, that is print to serial monitor. Drag it and drop it. So whatever value you are reading it at 4 number pin, you can print it over here in a serial print, very serial print. At the bottom you will find serial monitor. Over there you are going to print that sensor value. So check it out, start simulation and see what it is printing. So you will get value over there in the format of 0 and 1. If any object will be in front of this sensor, you will get over there, that is 1. Otherwise you will get 0 over there. So this one is a PIR sensor, proximity infrared sensor. So how this sensor is working, that is very important to understand that how the sensor is working. Okay. So in the sensor, so over there we can connect that signal wire with the digital pin, and the sensor is working based on proximity, or it will detect human being, and two conditions should be satisfied. First one is that there should be any living being, and second thing is that the living being should be in a motion. So click on the sensor and you will able to see the range of the sensor. 4 to 5 meter range you will find it from the sensor. And if any object will be in front of this, and if that object or living being should be in a stationary position, you will get output that is 0. You will get output that is 0. If that living being in a motion, you will get output 1. You can see on the serial monitor output 1, and if the object move away, output will be 0. Again the object is coming in front of it, so output is 1, otherwise output is 0. That you can see it. In that way it will work over there. You can see it over here, and now output is 0, that you can see it. So again, if there is any object, output is 1, otherwise 0. Now we have to use some condition over there. So we are going to use some condition over there. So what condition we are going to use it over here? The important condition that we are going to use it over here, that is if condition we are going to use it. So we want to turn on we want to open the door and we want to close the door. For that, what we are going to do, we are going to use some conditions. So go to the code, and over there we are going to use if condition. All the conditions we will find it in a control. In a control we will find conditions. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to take if and else conditions. If then else condition, like this. And over there we have to put that if condition on the sensor value. So we can take this block again, go to the input. So if and else block you will find in a control. You can see from the color code you will find block over here, if and else block. Then go to the input and take that block again, and pin number is 4. So now as we are trying to insert it over here, it will not get fitted. So what next we have to do it? For that we have to go to mathematical block, this one, mathematical block. In a mathematical block you will find comparison block, that is second one, less than, greater than. So that condition is required, because this the shape of this one block is like this, smooth, and over there is some pentagon like that, so it is not get fitted over there. So we have to go to the second block in a mathematical operators, take it. Now this block can be inserted over there like this, and then you can insert this block also, because this one is also oval shape and both are same. So you can add it over here like this. So now you can make it less than, equal to, these things you can change it. Click over there, and now I'm going to change it over here, so you can make it equal. So we are going to make it equal over here. So that equal we are going to do it. If sensor value, whatever value we are reading it on the 4 number pin, if that is equal to 1, so what output should we get? So what output should we get over there? That is very important. So what we are going to do it over here, we are going to start simulation. But before that, if we are going to, if the condition is being get satisfied, so what output we want? So go to the output. Before that, let me use motor. So I want to turn on, open and close the door. For that I'm going to use motor. So motor mechanism we have to use it over there for opening and closing the door. So I have connected motor on the 10 number pin. So we have to give output to 10 number pin. So what next we have to do it over here for opening and closing the door. So go to output and take simple digital block, high and low. Select pin number, that is 10 number pin, we are using it for the motor. And again you can take this block in a else condition also. Select pin number, that is 10, and make it high and low. 10 number pin high, 10 number pin low. So now you will able to see it. Digital read pin 4 is equal to 1, set pin 10 high, set pin 10 low. Now you will able to see it over here. Motor is still off, because we have started simulations, but motor is still off. So why it is so? You can see on the serial monitor, value of the sensor is 0 now. If there will be any object in front of the door, so door will be get open using this motor mechanism. Motor will start rotating and door will be get open. So like as the human being is coming in front of the door, so motor is rotating, door will be get open using that mechanism, and again that person going away, so going inside or away, so that motor will be closed, or motor will be stopped and door will be closed. So now over there, after doing this, we are moving ahead again. If any person is coming in front of the door and going inside, door will be closed, and if that person going out from the door, so door will be open. So the sensor we have to use in both side, inside of the door and outside of the door. If any one person is coming from inside to out, door should be open, and in outside also, if any person is coming from the outside, then also door should be get open. So that is very simple project. Only 4 blocks we have used over there, and we can make automatic door opening over there easily. That can be made. So now moving ahead with it. So we are going to make, now using the same sensor, we are going to make automatic doorbell. How we can make contactless doorbell using simple same concept. So I'm going with the new project. You can save it, you can rename it, and your project is being get saved. So now after doing this, you can go to create new circuit. This one is a previous project. So all the project whatever you are going to make it, that is being get saved, and you can share with your students also. So there is a sharing option, share it. So that is not opening right now. So you can share that with your student also, that also can be done using this option. So now coming back over here, again we are going to use same concept, same thing, same coding will be same, just only few changes will be over there. So we are going to use one buzzer for giving output. Negative should be connected with the ground, positive should be connected with any digital pin. Then we are going to use same PIR sensor, same connection, ground should be connected with the ground. So if you got confused in a coding in a previous project, you will get more familiarity about it over here. So this one is a 5 volt. You can make it red, positive. Signal wire you have to connect with any digital pin. So you can change color code also so that you can see it more clearly. And then after that, change different color, orange. So this one is a simple circuit diagram that I just made it over here. Now moving ahead, you can go with the code. This one is a by default code. You can delete it. And now you have to write code. Same code previously we made it. So similar code we have to make it. So first of all, go to input, take first block, that is digital read. Pin number of the sensor is 6 number, that is PIR sensor pin. And after that output, take print to serial monitor. So this one we took it, then you can put this block over there. So sensor, you can check it out. First of all, it is working or not. You can open serial monitor, the value is coming 0. If there is any object that is coming in front of it, so output is 1, otherwise output is 0. So condition should be like that, object should be in a motion or object should be in front of this one, and motion should also be there. If there is no motion, output will be 0. So both conditions should be satisfied over there, then only it will work. So after that, that is a simple thing we did it. So what next we have to do it, we can go to the control. In a control you will find if and else conditions. So we are going to take if and else conditions. So you can get it like if then else conditions. Take it. Now you can go to the math. So second block you have to take it, that is mathematical operators. And after taking this block, you have to move ahead. So this one mathematical block we have taken it. So after that we have to go ahead. Over there you have to put this block again. So go to input, read digital block again, select pin number, that is 6 number pin, and you can drag it and drop it over here like this, and you can make it equal to. So after doing this, you can start simulation. So we are going to start simulation, but what condition we want to execute? If my sensor value is high, if there is any object in front of my sensor, what output I want to get? I want to play speaker. So we have to add that one over there. So what we have to do it over there. So what we have to do next over there, we have to go to the output and we have to take the block of play speaker, this one, and put it in if condition and select pin number of speaker, that is 10 number pin. So you can see it over here, pin number of speaker is 10 number pin. So earlier we have just used a digital output, now we are going to use speaker, so we have to use direct speaker block over there. And what next we have to do it in else conditions, you can use turn off speaker pin, this one. You can take it and you can select it, that is pin number 10. So 10 number pin is high, 10 number pin is low. So now we are going to start simulation. So in if condition we have played the speaker, in else condition we have just turned off the speaker. So now what we have to do it over here, we are going to start simulation. Simulation is being get started, and if any object, any person is coming in front of your door, so you have mounted this sensor in front of your door. So if any person coming in front of your door, so over there you will able to see the buzzer should be on, that the doorbell start ringing over there. So this one is representing doorbell. So you can attach that microcontroller with the electronic doorbell also, or otherwise you can use that kind of speaker also. So off again, if that person is again new person is coming in front. So again any person is coming in front of the door inside. So over there you have to take one measure over there, precaution measure, that is you have to maintain exit and entry door different, so that if the person is going out, then buzzer door and one is exit door. So this one is very interesting project, that is automatic doorbell. So that also in small basic things you can do it. So these are basic coding, you can do it. So whatever code you made it, you can go to block plus text, so your C++ code will be generated, and you can deploy that code directly in the hardware. So that can be deployed easily over there in a hardware. So what next you have to do it over there, like if you are going to make it so simple coding, we did it over here, and we can generate that C++ coding also over here, and we have discussed over here about digital sensors. So in replacement of this, if we are going to use any kind of analog sensor, so if we want to make a social distancing gadget, that also you can make it using digital sensor also. So we are going to use one more sensor, and we are going to make one more project, that is social distancing gadget. So how you can make that social distancing gadget. So you can save this project also. I'm not going to save it right now. You can save it. But so now I'm going to use, in replacement of this PIR sensor, I'm going to use ultrasonic sensor. So ultrasonic sensor is being used in many robotics application, and specific when we talk about mobile robotics, over there ultrasonic sensor is being got used, and we can call it proximity sensor also, for detecting any object or measuring the distance of any object. So over there what we are going to do it, we are going to use this one sensor. So there is three wires, one is a signal, one is ground wire should be connected with the ground. Then after that, this one is a power wire should be connected with 5 volt. Then there is one signal wire. I'm going to connect it over here with any digital pin. This one is also working as a digital sensor. So over there, what next we have to do it, after doing this, we are moving ahead. So we are moving ahead, we can start simulation. So before that we have to write code. So this one is a previous code, you can delete this code like this, and if you want to download this code, you can download it also. So whatever project you are going to make it, so that code is being get downloaded in a very simple C++ language, so that you can directly open in the Arduino software, that you can use it. So now what next we have to do it over here, we can go to the code, and you can delete this one code, new code you have to generate it. So I'm going to click on block so that we can make it easily. So go to the input, now we can take ultrasonic sensor directly. So you can take block of ultrasonic sensor. So that block we are going to take in. So now we can move ahead. So what we have to do it, we have to take this block, read ultrasonic sensor, and over there what we have to do it, we can print that value, go to the output. Same step we have to follow it like earlier we did it. So if you get understood the basic functionality of this coding, you will able to do it over there. So after that, what we have to do over there, okay, so print it like this. So we are going to read sensor value on which pin number. So pin number we have to select it over there, trigger pin. So that we are using it over here, 6 number pin. So let me do fit to screen and select pin number, that is 6. So what next we have to do it over here. Let me bring it back. Sorry. So print to serial monitor, take this block, insert it like this. Now you can measure distance using this sensor. You can see it. You will able to measure distance using this sensor. So now it's showing that distance is 113. Click over there and you will able to see if any object is movable. So you will able to see the distance. This one is a practical distance, 288 centimeter, and this one is the Arduino measured distance. So Arduino can detect any object distance. Like if you're going to make a mobile robot, over there if you want to detect any obstacle, like autonomous robot, if you are going to make it, so if any obstacle you have to detect it automatically, so over there you can use this ultrasonic sensor. Now we are going to make social distancing gadget. So in a social distancing gadget, what we have to do it over here. So over there we have to go ahead with it, like we are going to write condition over there on my distance value. So go to the control, same thing like earlier we did it, take if then else block, scroll it down, if then else block you have to take it, then you have to go to math, same thing like same second block, and using this same pattern you can make any kind of complex project also easily, so that you can make it over there. So after that we have to go to output and sorry input, take ultrasonic block again, because on this sensor we have to use your conditions. Select pin number 6. So now over there, if condition we have selected, after that what we want to do, we want to give output in a speaker, play speaker, and select pin number, we can select pin number is 10. And again in else condition, turn off that speaker on 10 number pin. So after doing this, what we have to do, we can start simulation. So that simulation we are going to start it. Start simulation, and now we have not set up any threshold limit. So what we have to do it over here in this less than equal to block, we are going to set one threshold limit. If less than equal to, and I'm going to take it 100 centimeter, if anyone is going to break the distance of 100 centimeter, so my buzzer should be on. Yes. So now distance is 229, and as any one person is going to break the social distance, this one sensor will detect any living and non-living being. So any object is coming near to us, so it will detect it, their distance. So as anyone is going to cross 100, So in that way, you can make any kind of social distancing gadget easily using this block simply. So now what we have to do it next, we can uh, uh, check it again like this. So in that way, you can make any kind of social distancing gadget also. Right now, I just made you familiar about the sensors like input, digital input, and then we are going to discuss about analog input also, because sometime in a robot we have to use some analog sensors also. And it's not only necessary that you should know only about their mechanism only in robotics. The important part is that circuit understanding is also important, sensor understanding is also important, because the maximum time when we talk about those robots is being deployed in the industries, those are from the MNC companies. Like many companies are working over there, Phonak and many more. So over there you can see that how you can repair those robots, how you can troubleshoot any kind of fault over there. That is also very important to understand over there. So that we have discussed over here. Now we are going to talk about analog sensor. So if we have to read any kind of analog sensor like force sensor or any kind of other sensors, so all the advanced sensors you will find it over here. Go to basic and all component. In all component you will find few more advanced sensors like photodiode, ambient light, and force sensor. Like if you want to detect any force, that also you can detect it using this force sensor. Then after that you will find flex sensor. Flex sensor can also be used for many applications, like if you are going to control robotics arm using your fingers, that also you can do it. Then IR sensor for line following robot or some path following robot, if we have to make it, so for that we have to use IR sensor. Then tilt sensor, then temperature sensor also can be used, then gas sensor also can be used, and then these are output you can give using RGBs. Motors you can use it, DC motor with encoder, DC motor, servo motor. So in next class we are going to talk about that how we can control motors in a robot. So how we can make a driver circuit of a motor. So motor driver, that is very important. So when we have to drive heavy motors, so how we can control it, so that we are going to discuss. And you can display values on the LCDs also, that also you can use it. And you can use different power source like solar cell also, you can use it in the robot. And you can use batteries, you can make your homemade battery also, like lemon batteries, potato batteries, that also you can try at your home and you can check it out their simulations. These are microcontrollers, you can use it. This one is a microbit, that also can be used. And this one is a ETNI. Then after that this one is the instruments, like scope you can use it, power supply you can use it, multimeter also you can use it over there in the Tinkercad. And then after that these are some ICs, so no need to go in detail of the ICs. So these are relays. Relay also can be used for controlling high current motors. So these are some motor controller driver. This one is also motor driver. So in next class we are going to discuss about this H-bridge motor driver, how we can do connection and how we can control a robot, or how we can make an obstacle detection robot or line following robot. So this robot we can make it easily over there. So all the coding part, all the circuit part, that I'm going to discuss in next class. So these are a few more logic ICs that you can use it over here. So all the project is being get saved and you can use it. So now I'm going to sum up it over here. If any participant having any kind of doubt, any kind of queries, so feel free to ask over here. You can unmute your mic, or whatever way you can ask your queries, you can go ahead with that.
Ajay Godreji, thank you so much for your wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
Now I'm requesting any participants, if you have any doubt, please kindly ask the speaker. Interact it. You can interact it directly. Yeah, I think the Pandian sir,
Yes,
Dr.
yeah.
Pandian sir.
Yeah,
Thank you,
this
sir.
session is
Please kindly
also,
interact.
as usual, very nice, very informative session. So the the entire presentation is very self-explanatory, and it is very clear. So we appreciate the presenter and as well as the organizers. So there is no doubt about this particular session, sir. It went on well, sir. Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you so
Hello.
much. Any another participant?
Hello.
Yeah, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Can I ask
Sir,
questions?
how much
Yeah,
time it will
directly.
take to learn this package, sir? Hello.
Yeah, Ajay Kodraji.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah,
How much time it will take to learn this package?
How much? I'm getting your question. Kindly repeat it.
How much time it will take to learn this package?
కెమెరా వస్తుంటుంది కదా ఆటోమేటిక్గా.
How much time it will take to learn it? So it's depend upon you. How much practice you are going to do. Like these are basic. As I shared with you. In next class, I will share with you some resources also. So with the help of that, you can do practice at your home, and within 1 week, you will able to do it things over there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, any other participant?
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kotra sir. Sir, you have shown this simulation in Tinkercad. Can this simulation be used to control a real-time Arduino board? That means whatever you have shown simulation, can we assemble it on a real-time on a Arduino board, and can we control that circuit using this simulation? Is it possible?
Yes, over there is two things. Like when we talk about on the hardware, for that you have to deploy it directly on the hardware. Like the code you can generate it from over here from the Tinkercad, and that code you can deploy it on the hardware. In next session I will share with you on the hardware also how you can do it. And there is one more software. If you want to do that same graphical coding on that hardware, and you want to see it real time also using that graphical coding, that also you can do it. But in this software only you can do simulation and you can generate code, and that code you can deploy it on the hardware. How you can deploy it, that I will share with you in next session. So in next session maximum hardware things I will show you, and I will deploy a code over there, and I will interface sensor over there and motor driver over there, so that you can visualize it, that how you can do it on the hardware.
Thank you very much, sir. Also, sir, one more thing. Can it be interfaced with other softwares like MATLAB?
No, that cannot be done with this software. This software over there, you can use only that Arduino board and more microbit, and you can some part you can do it. This one is just for understanding basic programming. But the microprogram, that. So with the MATLAB also, that I will try to share with you in next session. Like if you want to deploy that MATLAB Simulink model in the Arduino board, or you are going to make robot using Arduino board, and you have made some logic over there in a MATLAB or Simulink, that you can deploy it directly on the hardware. That I will share with you next session. And you can use LabVIEW also over there for deployment of any kind of LabVIEW schematic or circuit over there in the Arduino board in a real time. So that real time you can do it. But in this software, in the Tinkercad, you can just do circuit simulation or Arduino programming simulation only. You cannot interface with
Yeah, okay. Any other
Thank
participant?
you very much, sir.
Right, thank you so much, sir. Any other participant?
Sir, can I ask, sir?
Yeah, please, sir.
Sir, is there what are the companies, sir, for getting the job in this field, sir?
Okay, so when we talk about
Companies.
also companies. So there is plenty of
Yes, sir.
companies. Those are working in a specific field. As I'm just talking about the Tinkercad only. In the Tinkercad, so all the education market is fully open. When we talk about school point of view, is a simple. I'm just telling you. In a school, there is more than 4,000 adult tinkering lab. So that is being installed by Government of India. There is a very open opportunity for working over there. Second thing is that when we talk about industrial applications, now in this day, everywhere automation is going on. So let me share with you one slide so that you can able to visualize that how much job opportunity is over there in the industry. Let me share with you. Okay, wait for a second. So the industrial scenario that I'm just going to share with you so that you can visualize that how much scope of automation and robotics is over there. So wait for a second. Yes.
Professor, it is not audible.
Yeah, Ajay Kodri.
Yeah, it is not audible, I think.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. Ajay Kodraji? Yeah,
Sorry, sir.
something
I was.
technical problem. Yeah,
Yes, yes. I'm coming back.
yeah.
Screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So over there you can see the how much fast automation going on in the industry. In 1 minute, one product is coming out. And you can see the job opportunity in this sector in automation in robotics, and the important part is that you should know the basics of that robotics, like the designing part is okay, like first once you have designed it, there will be very rare fault chances will be occurred. But when we talk about electronics part, sensory part, and the programming part, major fault is being get occurred over there. If we have to reschedule anything over there, then you have to do programming over there. So you should know all these things, that how to troubleshoot the things. And there is a huge opportunity in the industries right now and in the future also, because right now we are living in the era of fourth industrial revolutions. Over there fully automation is being get integrated. In the same way, when we talk about some home application robot also, and in the hospital also, like to serving the COVID patients, so these kind of robots are highly effective over there. So now 5G is also coming, so more and more device will be get connected with each other. So there is a huge opportunity. And when we talk about the companies, so major companies, as I told you about Marutis, those are big giants in the markets. Those are also working in that particular domain. So
Yes,
all
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
manufacturing sector, there is a huge opportunity also over there, and those are service providing like some robot manufacturing company. There is also huge opportunity, and few MNC companies is also going to start their manufacturing plant in India, like Tesla. So Tesla is also going to start their electrical vehicle manufacturing operation in India. So over there is also fully automatic car is coming, driverless car. So that is autonomous vehicle. That is also part of mobile robotics or robotics. Yes, please go ahead with any other queries.
Yeah, any other participant? Any other participant is there? Yeah, please kindly interact with the speaker. Okay. I think there is no any other. Okay, sir. Thank you, Ajay Kodraji. Thank you so much for your kind patience by giving the lecture. And another session we are expecting in the afternoon 2:30. Now I request the program coordinator, Professor P. Venkatraman sir, kindly share the few words today's morning session. Yeah.
Thank you, Godraji. You presented well on Arduino board and your tinkering CAD simulation, then how to use it. Really, it is more useful for the participants, and it added value to the FDP finally. So in the second session, again, we'll see your expertise. Thank you for sharing your valuable time for this and sharing the expertise with our participants. Thank you, Godraji. We will meet again in the afternoon session by 2:30.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ajay Kotarji. Thank you. Thank you all the participants. Now, another session start at 11:35. Speaker by Dr. Satish Babu, GBPEC College from Visakhapatnam. Right, 11:35. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
ఇప్పుడు అది ఆన్ అవుతుంది కదా, మనం ఎంటర్ చేసుకుంటూ వచ్చేస్తే ఒక్క నిమిషం ఉన్నాం స్టార్ట్ అయ్యే వరకు. By joining, you are giving consent for this meeting to be recorded. Privacy policy. Start easy. Start చేస్తానా? వాళ్ళు పెట్టారమ్మ మరి, అది నేను ఇంకొద్దిసేపు అనుకుంటున్నాను. క్యామ్ ఆన్ అయింది కదా, అదే మీది డిస్ప్లే అయింది FDP అండ్ రోబోటిక్స్ అనేది. సెషన్ అట్ 11:35 ఏమనుంది. ఇప్పుడు మ్యూట్లో ఉంది, మైక్ మ్యూట్లో పెట్టారా మీరు అక్కడ అటు నుంచి? ఓకే. నాదా నా లెక్చరా అంటే ఇది మ్యూట్లో ఉంది ఎలాగా అని చూస్తున్నాను నేను. పర్లేదు, కెమెరా ఆన్ చేశాను, నా కెమెరా ఆన్ అయింది. మ్యూట్ కదా ఇది కదా. ఆన్ అయిందండి. హలో, కెమెరా ఆన్లో ఉందటండి. హలో, లేదా? ఇప్పుడండి మీ కెమెరా ఆన్ అయింది. మైక్ సింబల్ అటమ్మా. మైక్ సింబల్ పక్కన వీడియో కాల్ సింబల్ క్లిక్ చేశానండి. కనపట్ల. F10 ప్రెస్ చేయమంటున్నారు. F10 ప్రెస్ చేయమంటున్నారు. ఇది 10 ఇది. ల్యాప్టాప్ అండి. ల్యాప్టాప్లో నేను కెమెరాని కెమెరా పైన నేను పెట్టగానే టర్న్ కెమెరా ఆఫ్ అని వస్తుంది. టర్న్ కెమెరా ఆన్ అని వచ్చింది ఇప్పుడు.